This is a ribeye, one of the best steaks you can get. And this is a London broil, one of my favorite pieces of meat. Together they are one of the two best things I can freeze dry. But the issue at hand is reconstituting freeze-dried meat. If you do meat raw, you have to cook it. If you freeze-dry meat cooked, you have to warm it up. And by warming it up, sometimes you end up taking a piece of meat that is medium rare to a medium or medium well done because of the heat you have to add to it to get it hot again. So, why not take the best of two worlds? Freeze drying and sous vide. Now, if you haven't heard of a sous vide, it is the ultimate way of cooking that. Sous vide is the ultimate slow cooker. So we're going to take our steaks, we're going to put it into a sous vide for 3 hours at 133 degrees. That will basically make our steak medium rare through and through, so that when we freeze dry it and bring it back to life, all we need to do is sear it and we will have a perfect medium rare ribeye. Cooking meat the sous vide way is pretty simple, and people have different preferences. A lot of people will just do salt and pepper, which is just fine. I like mine just a little bit different. First, I start with a little lemon juice on my steak to give it just a little bit of acid. Okay? And then I add some olive oil and spread it all around the steak. And then Montreal seasoning. Now you can either go with salt and pepper, which is just fine, but I love Montreal seasoning. And this is homemade. You can also buy it at the store. Okay. Once that's done, you need to put it into a bag. If you have a vacuum sealer, that's great. If you don't, you can probably just use a Ziploc bag. But one of the issues with sous vide is you want to be able to have the water envelop the meat as much as possible. So we're going to put this in here. And we're going to suck out all the air. Just like so. So we take our steak and we put it into the water. We just clip it into place. Add the lid. And we're going to put it at 133 degrees for 3 hours. So we'll be back in 3 hours to pull it out and get it ready to freeze dry. It's been 3 hours at 131 degrees, so the sous vide is done. Now, instead of just doing one steak, I added some additional steaks to it. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 steaks all together. These are all sirloin steaks. Okay, I've removed the meat from the sous vide. We have our London broils right there, and we have our steak. So we'll see how this comes out. It was in there for about 4 hours at 133 degrees. Okay, there we go. Now I'm going to have to trim some of the fat on this before I put it in the freeze dryer. But to give you an idea, that is what it looks like. Medium rare all the way around. So we're going to slice this up, put it in the trays, and we're going to freeze dry it, and then we're going to bring it back to life to see what it's going to be like. I have all the meat sliced up, and I know it's probably a desecration to slice up a ribeye, but for freezing purposes, that's how it goes. So I'm going to put this in the freezer to pre-freeze it, and then into the freeze dryer it will go. Okay, about 18 hours later, all my meat is done. This is all freeze-dried steak. As you can see, I went ahead and reconstituted one piece here, and I have one piece here that I just threw in a frying pan, and this seared both sides really quick. So I'm going to give this a cut in two, and I don't know if you can see it, but that is medium rare, exactly how it should be. And it tastes really good too. So this is freeze-dried sous vide steak. I think all my meat is probably going to be prepared this way. Worked out really good. Thanks for watching.